Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Clinton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm a dive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get.
We are here with Dan the Man. Dan the Man, you are from the great state of, how do you say it, Oregon?
Oregon.
And you wanted to know about how to effectively market on social media.
Yeah, definitely.
And so we're going to dive into it, my friend. We have 12 power moves.
Boom.
And so I'm going to just get into them. And if you have any questions, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
Cool?
I am so stoked.
Power move number 1. You want to establish the trust and credibility.
Okay.
In your mind, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, go ahead and elaborate.
I'm gonna go ahead and unpack this thing, okay? 1, you need to have high quality graphics. Okay? So you have to have that high quality. You can't have an unbelievable social media presence and have low quality graphics. Okay? So your images, people go, well, I just don't have money for a graphic designer. I'm telling you, people will judge you, 1, based on your poor handwriting, right here, example A, but also they're gonna judge you based on the graphics.
Yeah.
So you've just got to have really good stuff, okay? So action item, make sure you do that.
Okay.
2, law of credibility. You want to honor the law of credibility, which means you shouldn't ever say anything you can't prove. And I'm going to give you an example of some stuff that makes me nuts. I see people all the time on their social media post stuff like, on their business social media, they'll post a quote and it's misattributed. Or it doesn't make any sense. Or they say something that's not true. Like, we've had 4,000 customers and we've never upset one. Really? I mean, I don't even have 4,000 family members, and I seem to upset one of them every week. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not possible. So you don't ever want to say something that's not true. Okay? The 3rd is you want to create content that people want to socialize about.
Okay.
You know? So content that people want to socialize about. Content that people want to socialize about. Don't put content that people don't want to socialize about, or people won't use it on social media, because social media is all about socializing. So if you put a picture of a cat, people are like, oh my gosh, that's such a nice cat. You're a cat, where'd you get him? If you ever done that, have you ever posted about like,
yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, it's such a nice cat, and they'll just talk about it. But then you post something about your business, like, we have something on sale. They're like, 1 like. You know what I mean? So people usually want to socialize about things that are interesting to them.
So what would you say for my business, since I do video for a living, what are some unique ways that I could get people to socialize on my Facebook page?
I think your clips are awesome. The stuff I've seen you do is awesome. So I would always post clips like behind the scenes of something you're working on, or behind the scenes at a shoot we just did today. You know, behind the scenes look at the making of the new commercial for such and such.
Okay.
Behind the scenes look of how we process this, or how we filter this, or how we shoot this, or how we set this up. Kind of those behind the scenes looks.
Okay.
That would be big, I would think, for you.
All right. Thank you.
Also, you want to avoid politics and religion if at all possible. Now, if you're watching this and if you're a politician and you go, well, that mean I can't be on social media because or if you're watching this and you're a pastor and you're going, so I can't be on social media? No. And I know we have thrivers who actually are pastors and politicians. But it just means that, like, if you're not, and you go on this big rant on your website about, like, I love President Obama. Donald Trump is terrible, or vice versa. I love Donald Trump. President Obama's he's the Antichrist, or George. You say George Bush, he's terrible, and I really love Bill Clinton. What you do is you have half of your audience that right away tunes you out. So make sure you don't violate this rule. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a little notable quotable from Gary Vaynerchuk. Okay. Now, Gary Vaynerchuk is the guy who, best-selling author. He started a company called the Wine Library. What happened is he took over for his parents' business, and his parents' business was called the Shoppers Discount Liquors. And it was a liquor store, and he grew that thing from $3 million in revenue to $50 million in revenue, all using social media. This is what he says. He says, when I hear people debate the return on investment of social media, it makes me remember why so many businesses fail. Most businesses are not playing the marathon. They're playing the sprint. They're not worried about lifetime value and retention. They're worried about the short-term goals. So you just want to make sure you're not doing stuff that's going to freak out your core audience. So homework for you, action items. Make sure that 1, you have high-quality graphics.
Yeah.
2, law of credibility. Just go through your stuff. Make sure it looks credible. 3, only post stuff people want to socialize about. I'll give you some specific ways to do that. And 4 is no politics or religion if at all possible. Because it just tends to freak people out. Power move number 2. You want to build connections and relationships. So if you look at this for a second, build connections and relationships. Can you read this notable quotable for me?
I would love to. My store, wine library, outsells big national chains. How do you think we do it? It started with hustle. I always say that our success wasn't due to my hundreds of online videos about wine that went viral, but to the hours I spent talking to people online afterward. Making connections and building relationships.
So on social media, if you're going to get into that game, people are going to comment, and you're going to want to comment back because it's a relationship. They're going to send you a question, and you're going to want to respond. They're going to want to disagree, and you're going to have to debate. They're going to want to, you have to be responsive. If you're on social media, let's just say that like you called me on my phone, and I don't respond. That's sort of a weird deal. Like if I call you, and then you call me back, and I don't respond, it's just sort of a weird vibe, you know? I'm sure we've all had a friend like this. You call them, or in this case, they would call you, so you call them back, and then they disappear for 2 months. It's weird. If someone calls you, you would think they'd want to answer the phone, or they'd want to talk to you. Social media is the same way. So if you're posting on Facebook, and people post back, and you don't ever respond, it's sort of like, it feels insincere. It feels weird. Make sense?
Yeah, no, perfect sense.
You just need to view like a phone call. You need to respond.
Yeah, it's like having a conversation. If I ask you a question, you just don't say anything to me, and I'm like,
So a relationship is focused on your ability to relate to the people you're talking to. What were you saying there? What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying, like, if I asked you a question just now, and I said, yeah, Clay, why are you so pale? And you didn't respond.
Well, I wasn't prepared for that, but you don't want to go outside. That's what's one tip.
Okay.
2 is that whenever you have a chance to stay inside, you choose that.
Yeah.
3, any physical activities you want to do need to be like in a gym inside.
Okay.
And so there's a whole lot of things you have to do.
So write down those action items?
I would not do that. I would not do that. But the thing is that you want to relate to your audience.
Yeah.
That's how it works. You have to relate in order to have a relationship. And to relate means you have to seek to understand them. Seek to understand, not to be understood. You have to seek
Stephen R. Covey?
understand. Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to seek to understand them, because if you have someone posting and then you listen to them and then you respond back and you help them, they're going to go, wow, we have a relationship, I should stick around. But if not, it's kind of a weird deal to get involved in social media. The third area here is develop social currency. Develop social currency. Can you read this notable quotable, my friend?
Yes, sir. Social currency. We share things that make us look good, even if that means pictures of our cat.
Okay, Jonah Berger, the guy who said this, he is a professor at Wharton University. He wrote a book called Contagious. What he's talking about is that, as a general rule, people will share things that make them look good. So one thing that you could share on social media is you could share, like say you shot a video for a bride.
Yeah.
And the wedding was awesome. You could post a clip of her wedding and tag her, and what's she going to do if she looks awesome?
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm going to share it with all my friends.
Has that happened before?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So people, but you don't want to share stuff that makes people not look good.
Yeah.
And a lot of businesses don't get that. So there was one business I worked with years ago, it was a fitness business.
Yeah.
And when girls are working out, they might make interesting faces. But dudes do the same thing. But if you're going to take a picture of the girl without her permission and then post it and tag her, how's that going to go over when she's making a weird face?
Probably not good. She'll probably say something on the Facebook post, which won't be good.
Yeah, but what if she looks like $1 million? She's going to want to share it.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So you have to develop social currency. You want to create things that make your audience look good. Mm-hmm. So for Thrive, as an example, we've had more and more Thrivers that are having testimonials of success where they're going, I'm doing this, and then this result is happening. I'm implementing this strategy, and this is working for me. You would want to post those because the people who are involved in those would want to share those. Mm-hmm. So develop social currency. Again, this is posting things that make your customers look good. Don't post anything that makes them not look good.
Okay.
Okay? Next move here is you want to develop triggers. Develop triggers. Can you read this one?
Mm-hmm. Triggers. Easily memorable information means it's top of mind and tip of the tongue.
Okay, so if you can think about this, it's easily memorable information means it's top of the mind and tip of the tongue. A couple examples. You know that really, really weird song called Friday?
Yeah.
It's Friday,
yeah.
Friday. You know, and many people have said that's the worst song of all time.
But how many views did it get on YouTube?
Yeah, what are some of the lyrics to that song?
I actually don't know the lyrics. Friday. It's Friday.
We're going to pull it up. We'll pull the lyrics up on the screen right now. And there's Socrates, there's Plato, there's some real deep thinkers out there. Mm-hmm. And then there's Rebecca Black. And she's talking about not knowing what she's going to eat for breakfast, and But anyway, this song, because we have a trigger that it's Friday, and most people are used to saying, thank God it's Friday, or it's Friday. I'm so excited the weekend's here, whatever. Every Friday, people are on YouTube looking for a song, like a Friday song, or typing in Friday, and they would find her song, and they're like, this song's insane. But they would view it over and over and over again, but it was a trigger. Another example you could think of is maybe you've been to the state fair.
Yeah.
I don't know if you go to the state fair. Do you go to the state fair?
I haven't been in ages, but I used to go when I was younger all the time.
I'm a big sucker for the butter sculptures.
Yeah?
Anything that they make out of butter, I kind of want to just look at it and marinate on that. But anyway.
You guys sound like you have cool state fairs here.
Man, I just love the butter sculptures. I'm just telling you, I see something made out of butter.
I've never seen a butter sculpture.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, you got to go to the Minnesota State Fair. What they'll do is they'll make a human or a cow or some sort of animal, some sort of design out of butter, and they'll carve it out. And I'm just, anyway, but that's what I'm a sucker for at state fairs. But when you go to these events, what happens is at this event, you'll smell like cookies, and you're like, and there's deep fried stuff, but you smell some cookies, and example, like it could remind me of my grandma. So my grandma Myrna, who's no longer with us, but she would make these unbelievable chocolate chip cookies. So when you go to the state fair, you're walking around, and you get that, and you're like, oh, and you think of grandma, because it triggers that idea. So if you could post things that trigger ideas from your customers, that is what you'd want to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so basically I need to sit down and think of ideas that, like maybe even through just video. I'll go into that later, but But yeah, basically I need to post things through video that trigger maybe memories or just trigger some sort of, I don't know.
Well, here's an example. What part of the wedding makes the bride cry every time? I mean, because you've done some weddings, and I've done some weddings. What part of the wedding is not? I'll kind of sketch it out for a second, okay? Maybe you tell me. Somebody,
there's a bunch of parts, but I could think of a few parts.
Somebody here sees somebody over here.
Yeah, I was going to say the first look. I was going to say that.
Okay.
I was going to say the first look.
The bride sees the groom for the first time.
Exactly.
And the bride's like, and the groom's like, and the bride's like, and the groom's like, right? Every time.
Wait, how's the groom?
The groom's like,
oh, okay.
He does a side swipe where he kind of licks his lip, kind of.
Okay.
And the bride's like, anyway, you go through, and then her mom's like, "Don't cry, your mascara, it's everywhere. Do not cry, your mascara, it's everywhere."
I thought you were talking about the part where the bride's yelling at everybody. That's what I thought you were thinking of.
The bridezilla moment.
Yeah, I mean the bridezilla moment. That's perfect for triggering things.
Well, let me give you an example. If you shared the footage of the bride seeing the groom for the first time, you just shared that clip for your weddings. I guarantee you people will share it.
Yeah.
Because it will trigger, oh, I remember when I got married, or I remember when my friend got married, or oh, this is so awesome. So for you, as an action item, I would do that.
Okay.
Because it will trigger that. So this next move here is you want to develop emotional content. Now this ties in a little bit to the last move here, but I'm going to get into it here. Here's the notable quotable from Jonah Berger. Again, Wharton Business School professor, wrote the best-selling book called Contagious, which breaks down how to do it on social media. It's so good, so good. One of my favorite books, orange cover. I recommend you buy it. It's awesome. Here we go. Emotion. When we care, we share. So what happens is when you see a story about a boy who his family got into a car accident and he somehow got to the police station and notified the police and they came back and saved his parents. When you see a story about a guy who went hiking and got lost and somehow made it back. When you hear a story about a firefighter who ran into a burning building and saved somebody. We naturally want to share that story because it emotionally grips us.
So I want to ask you a question. So for example, this isn't stuff that I just make. Would it be something along the lines of, say, something that's happened in the news? Recently in Oregon, there was a shooting. So could I don't know if that would be good to take maybe a newspaper clipping from that and post it on my site and then say something about it, like a little blurb?
Well, here is the thing, and that's a great question, and you certainly should not be faulted for asking the question. The one thing is that there's going to be sort of like this. I'm going to say like over here, this will be like out of bounds. And over here, this is out of bounds. And it's kind of like, what is in bounds? Is this too far? Is that too far? I don't ever want to benefit from the loss of life. So for that particular one, I would not.
Okay.
But for like in Oregon, your Trailblazers are there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of our Thrivers, he's Phil Pressey. He plays for the Portland Trailblazers. Phil, let's say Phil came to the small town and gave an uplifting talk about how to overcome adversity and the tough time that you guys had as a city. I might share something positive like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
But as far as that, I wouldn't share it. You would ever, because a lot of people, they feel like you're trying to take advantage of people. They would kind of come at you in a weird way. Move number 6 is you want to develop public content. Public content. Can you read that definition?
Public. Built to show. Built to grow. Jonah Berger.
Now, Jonah Berger, again, it's Wharton Business School. He has another quote he says here. He says, when we see other people doing something, we're more likely to imitate it. So what you want to do is you want to develop stuff where it's kind of like you want to create, you want to take your videos and you want to think about what could I do that other people would maybe want to imitate. Like you might make a video where you show people cool tricks that they could do on their average iMovie editor.
Yeah.
Things that they could do. You're not trying to put yourself out of business, but you're trying to show them this is some cool do-it-yourself stuff that you could do. And what will happen is people will then go, oh yeah, that is cool, I should try that. And now they're trying it and they say, where'd you learn it? Oh, I learned it from Daniel.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So you want to have some public content where it's it's a practical value, it teaches people some things, but where they would actually want to imitate it. Or maybe it's a situation where you go, it's a really, really, really cool feature that you just edited, and it looks awesome. And it just has a visual wow. Boom, like it's amazing. If you put that on Facebook, people will want to share it because it's kind of like a show and they go, oh my gosh, this is amazing, I want to share it with someone else. Okay? But you want to stick within these boundaries when you're posting. Power move number 7, can you talk about that one?
Yeah. Practical value. News people can use.
Okay, practical value. Practical value. Jonah Berger is talking about practical value. And what he's talking about in his book, again, Contagious, is he's saying is that if something has a practical value, those DIY, do-it-yourself things, people love to watch those videos. So think, what are some things right now that you could teach the average Facebook user about how to use video?
Well, I could even start with just the basics of using a camera.
Okay.
I could go into the editing program, teach about editing and all the different parts that you can use to it. I can talk about workflow. I can talk about, there's so much that you could talk about that you can go into. I can talk about where you can, what sites to use to get music at, and talk about royalties. I don't know. I could talk about lenses. I could teach people about the types of lenses that are good to get, types of things you want to look for. I don't know. Is that?
Yeah.
Is that good?
These are things that are of practical value. So people will want to share that because it's something they go, wow, that's valuable. That's something that I go, wow, that's something that I appreciate. I learned that. Hey, you should check it out too. Cool?
Yeah.
All right.
Boom.
Maybe there's like tricks you have. Is there a trick you can do on video that's a trick? Like, what about like where you make people look like they're disappearing? Could you teach us how to do that look, or could you make it look like that we are like beaming up?
I can make it look like you have superpowers. How about that?
Could you do that?
Oh yeah, why not?
Could you really?
Yeah.
Okay. So here you go. Superpowers. So these are ones. See, these are ones here where I would say that I would stress for you to do more something like that.
Okay.
Like here's a video. Everyone does family videos. Here's a move you can do to make your family look like they're disappearing. Here's one you can do to make them look like they're beaming. Here's one you could do to make them look like they have superpowers.
Okay.
That's something that I would do.
All right. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfect. Power move number 8, share stories that are shareable. Stories. People are inherent storytellers, and all great brands also learn to tell stories. Information travels under the guise of idle chatter.
Now, what he's talking about is if you have a compelling story. So let's talk about, don't mention the names necessarily, but think about a wedding you did this year.
Okay.
Is there a wedding you did this year where there was a really compelling story going into it? Like something with the bride or the groom or something that was a pretty compelling story.
Yeah. No, there is. Do you want me to tell the story? Like,
Yeah, sure, go for it.
There was a really cute story about a couple that met on Tinder.
Oh,
And
Tinder.
Yeah, and the girl talked about how she basically was gonna delete Tinder like the week before. Like she was like, I'm gonna delete Tinder, and then she was like, oh, I'll keep it for a week. I don't know, whatever. So she was on it for a week, and then we did a really cute save the date video.
Yeah.
For their, to help them prepare, and in the video, it was really cool because they talked about how like I swiped right, and I really, I don't know. Does that make sense? Something like that. That's what you're looking for, stories like that.
Yeah, and so then the headline on Facebook might be like, we met on Tinder, I almost deleted my account, now we're married, or something.
Yeah.
Another example I can tell you, we did a wedding years ago. We're at the wedding. The groom's best man was not supposed to be at the wedding because he was deployed. But he knew, the best man knew that he would be in town for their wedding. He knew like it could probably work out where he could get back in town, but he didn't tell the bride or groom. So I get a call from the father of the bride, and he says, hey, are you the DJ? He says, yeah. He says, here's the deal. The best man is going to give the toast, but no one knows he's even back in the States. So I want to make sure that you don't spoil the secret, but we want to get it where he's kind of underneath the table, and underneath the head table before the couple gets there. So when they do the toasts, I'll get up, I'm supposed to fill in for them, and then I'm going to say, well, I was going to do the toast today, but I didn't have a chance to write anything, and I was wanting to see if we had somebody who'd be willing to, fill in for me. And at that point, he's going to come out, he's going to take the mic, we're going to share this story.
I have a feeling this really happened.
It did.
Okay.
Yeah, it did. And so what happened is the guy gets up, the father of the bride, he says this thing, he says, I was going to give the toast tonight and on behalf of the best man who couldn't be here. Unfortunately, I just didn't get a chance to prepare anything. I hope somebody else could fill in. And people are like, what? Well, then this dude comes out in his military uniform, and the groom is just bawling because it's like his best friend. He hasn't seen him forever. It's this awesome deal. Well, it was a cool story, but I bet you, there wasn't a dry eye in the whole place. Everyone was so excited. The groom was so pumped. The bride was pumped. It was this awesome story. And you might, in your business as a wedding videographer and a business person who does business videos, you might be able to find, you find if you're careful, if you think about it, everybody has a good story. Think about it. Everybody has a good story. There's nobody watching this right now who doesn't have a good story.
Yeah, I've lived 26 years on this earth, and so I should have something that happened in my life, right?
Yeah, we all have some adversity or some problem, or we've all lost somebody, or we've all had a big triumph, and you want to be able to share those stories on social media. Because again, if people would socialize about it,
are you talking about sharing these through video, or are you talking about me like typing these things out, or just anyway?
Both.
Both ways? Okay.
Yeah, I would never share a post without video or photo in there, but I will just tell you this. I am pragmatic, and you're a business guy, so you're going to have a little pragmatic in you as well. And the problem with pragmatists like me and you is that we don't use I don't use social media to just hang out. I'm using it. I have a business, businesses, and I think of social media as like marketing. But the average person is on there for socializing. So we've got to find a way to share those stories.
To make it social form.
That's right. Power move number 9 is you want to create a yearly and daily social media calendar. So social media calendar, let's talk about that. How many days are there in a typical Oregonian week?
Oh man, in a typical Oregonian week, let's see. I think it's the same as Tulsa, isn't it? Is it 7?
I don't know.
Days?
You know, in Oregon, I just know there's a lot of ducks. There's a lot of Nike. People are doing a lot of yellow, a lot of green. I wasn't sure if you guys recognize the national.
I'm almost positive it's 7.
Is it part of America?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it is actually. No, it is.
Okay, well, here's the deal. And the way you're going to do this is you have a calendar, and you'll have 7 days a week on this calendar. And if you'll go ahead and ordain right now, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you'll go through and you look at your calendar and you go, how many posts do you want to make a week for your business? How many do you want to do?
7 days a week.
Okay.
Because you want it to be as social as possible.
So what you need to do, and this is the part where it's tough.
That's right? You want it to be posting every day?
I would do it every day if you can.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's look through this though, okay? So let's go back through our moves and let's go through one by one here. So maybe Monday, every single Monday, you're going to share a story that's shareable.
Okay.
If you share a shareable story every Monday, one of them will take off. Then every Tuesday you offer practical value. And maybe every Wednesday you develop public content. And this is how you do it. But you have to make a calendar
to do it.
Should
I make a yearly calendar, or is this at the beginning of the week? I just sit down and be like...
I would make 3 months.
In advance?
I would.
I guess the issue I see with it is the amount of time. So am I getting all the content at once prepared? So like, let's say on one day I'm getting all the content prepared for my 3-month social media plan. Is that what you're saying?
I would.
Okay, because I was going to say it takes a lot of time, but if I spend a day on it, I think that could be viable.
If you're a small business owner, the problem is you're wearing multiple hats.
Yeah.
You have to be the accountant, the salesperson, marketing, the trainer. Now I'm encouraging you to go ahead and truncate it all into one specific event.
Okay.
So if you look at this notable quotable from Peter Drucker, he says time is the scarcest resource we have. Basically, time is the scarcest resource, and unless it is managed, nothing else can be managed. Peter Drucker was a legendary management expert, but he was saying what your concern was.
Yeah.
I mean, social media, you don't have time every day to go up on there for an hour, find a cool thing, and share it. It's probably not the highest and best use of your time. Now, as your company grows, it might make sense to hire somebody full time.
Exactly, but right now I can't afford it. But yeah, no, you're totally right.
So break it into a month and then a daily and use those moves. Move number 10 is you want to hook up to Hootsuite. Now, Hootsuite hooks up to a lot of different social media platforms. Most notably, it hooks up to Instagram, YouTube, Tumblr, WordPress, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, those guys. And if you look at this notable quotable, here's what Abraham Lincoln says.
Okay.
Abraham Lincoln, founder of social media, he says, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I'll spend the first 4 sharpening the axe." Sounds like what we just did back here with the calendar.
Yeah.
We spent 6 hours sharpening our axe, building our calendar, and then we spent an hour chopping it down, just hitting enter, hitting send.
Yeah.
So now the thing about Hootsuite is that doesn't replace your need to respond or to be responsive or to connect with people.
Really?
But you do need to post it all at one time. I would recommend that. Power move 11. Establish boundaries and goals for responsiveness. Now, what am I talking about there?
I don't know about the boundaries part, but maybe it's like I need to set like if people are obviously commenting on my posts, I need to say, I don't know, maybe I'll respond to 10 posts a day. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I'm saying you have to decide within your own ethics, your own goals, how often you want to respond, how much you want to. So I'll give you an example. I have one business owner I work with, and she says that if anybody sends her a post, she will respond within like 3 hours. So she checks all of her social media at noon, and then again like at 5, and that's just kind of her move.
Oh, yeah, okay, I do that, actually.
Right? And then other business owners are like, I'm going to respond every 10 minutes. All I'm saying is you need to figure that out and then set boundaries.
Okay.
'Cause if you're on a date or you're out with your wife or you're out with your family and you're constantly on there, you're never with them. You're mentally not present, but you physically are.
Okay.
So you want to set those boundaries and set those goals. Now, the cool thing about a business is you can staff somebody to respond. So you might have a person who works in your office and you tell them, hey, I want you to respond on Saturdays and Sundays and I'll respond Monday through Friday, or vice versa. But we need to go ahead and make those rules. Now, Jack Welch, famous CEO, he says, control your destiny or someone else will. To me, that's huge. Because you have to decide, because if you don't decide, I mean, I'm just telling you, I went to bed last night, and I woke up this morning, and I do my work, do my paperwork, get the day organized, get my day planned, get all my mojo going. And then when I turn my phone on, I've got tons of missed text messages, tons of missed social media, and I have to set boundaries or I'll never sleep. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs watching this. There's a lot of business people watching this right now. You're never off. You're keeping your phone. You feel like you need to respond to your phone all the time.
I feel the same way.
24 hours a day, you're on there, and it kills your creativity, for one, because you're always distracted. You're always responding even when you don't, have the time to do so, you're responding.
How much time do you think would be viable for that? I guess for right now at least. I mean, 15 minutes, half an hour?
I'd say 12 and 5 every day.
12 and 5 every day?
I'd respond every day, 12 and 5.
Okay. And I don't have to be on there for forever. It's just
respond to everybody, then peace out.
The peace out? Okay.
Yeah. And when you get to a certain level and you can afford to hire somebody, then maybe do it. But if you can't edit videos on time because you're spending your whole day on social media, it's not a healthy use of time. Power move number 12 is launch and don't stop until success. If you're going to go through the process of setting this up, getting all that content gathered, putting all that work in, you don't want to stop until you had success.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah.
A lot of people are like, well, I'll do social, I'll see how it works. I'll do social media for a week. I'll do it for an hour.
Yeah.
But you have to do social media on an ongoing basis. You go, well, I'll see if it works. I mean, if you're going to do it, let's do it. And you will win. I mean, it's not like there's a debate going on whether people are on Facebook or not, or whether they're on these channels. You just don't want to do it unless you're all in. Okay? But I'm going to read this quote to you from Larry Ellison. Again, he says, see things in the present even if they are in the future. See things in the present even if they are in the future. What he's talking about as it relates to this is when we're doing social media, we can't go, well, I only have 4 fans and 4 likes and a couple followers, so I can't really engage. If you want to get a ton of followers, then you've got to get serious about it, and you've got to put the effort into it and be consistent. But you can't just start and stop whenever you feel like it. You got to make that calendar and hold yourself accountable to that calendar. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to read you another quote here. Ben Horowitz, again, one of my favorite quotes. He says, as a startup CEO, I slept like a baby. I woke up every 2 hours, and I cried. And what does that have to do with this? Well, it's tough. Being an entrepreneur is tough. There's so much stuff you have to do. You got social media, you got sales, you got marketing, you got accounting, you got training. When are you going to have the time? You got ongoing education. But if you're going to do something, it's super, super, super unbelievable important that you commit to it. So if you're watching this today and you're like, man, I don't know that I can commit to doing that level of stuff, maybe you just post 5 days a week and commit to responding once a day. Whatever you're going to do, let's be all in though. Okay, very, very, very important. Now, Og Mandino, can you read this last quote from Og Mandino?
Yeah. I will consider each day's effort as but one blow of my blade against a mighty oak.
He's a best-selling author, wrote this book called The Greatest Salesman in the World. And what he's talking about is on social media or anything you're doing, you're going to have to view every day as when Gary Vaynerchuk started the Wine Library show. It wasn't like he became an overnight success. Every day, if you guys get a chance to go on YouTube and type in episode 1 of Wine Library, you can see where he started and how far he came. But it's a deal of, if you have to commit to it. You got to put that kind of energy into it. You've got to deliver. You can't just do a deal where you do it on the days you feel like it. You've got to have that diligence and that constant application of effort.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has. by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listening and our ranking there with Google.
And also, we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah. So here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months. Or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut, and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. They taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline. But that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Crockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal, and they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. As you can see, it's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood.
This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
Whoa.
The Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.